thank you for joining us, especially everyone who will watch this virtually. We are here this morning with Councilman Robert Stokes and Council President Nick Mosby to sign legislation introduced by the councilman that aims to ensure Baltimore City's workforce remains strong even as we navigate transitions over time. City Council Bill 2159 requires the City of Baltimore's Department of Human Resources to conduct a report that evaluates the current status of our workforce. This report will also make turnover projections and develop strategy for future recruitment. I want to say, Councilman, thank you for this forward-thinking piece of legislation, something that we should have done a long time ago, noting, even when you think about DPW and other agencies, how many folks are already at retirement age and they're not being a succession planning. Taking a real holistic approach, one that allows us to evaluate the strength of our workforce while planning for the future stability of our city, is an important step that we're taking. We know that our workforce is the heart of city government. Without all of the dedicated public servants who work tirelessly 7 days a week, sometimes at what feels like 24 hours a day, the programs, the services that we implement for the residents and everyone that visits Baltimore would not be possible. It's through the strength of this workforce and through the public servants that our legislation, policy plans, and initiatives that we all come up with are actually realized. We are here as we are here commemorating this moment. Let me first say again, thank you to each and every one of those workers who do that tireless work each and every day. I want to thank the councilman again for the legislation, the council president, and the council president's office for helping to shepherd this bill through in an appropriate time and fashion, and for getting it to us quickly. Let me also thank my team, who's been working hard since we took office in December, led by City Administrator Shorter, our HR Director, Quentin Herbert, who will be actually carrying out the implementation of this piece of legislation. We are excited to partner with the councilman and the council president on this important step as we continue to modernize city government to make sure that we're prepared for city government, not just from when we're in office, but for the generations to come, so that the next generation doesn't inherit what we inherited in not having succession planning and thinking long-term for what we can do for our city government. And with that, I'll turn it over first to Councilman Stokes for remarks.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Yes, sir.
Good morning. I would like to thank Mayor Scott for hosting the ceremony and for his administration beginning to produce a report that will help shape the city's workforce for the next generation. During the hearing that was held for this legislation, we learned that 57% of the current workforce is eligible for retirement. Today, many of those individuals were able to move into the middle class because of the employment opportunities that were forwarded to them by the city. Right now, Baltimore is facing significant challenges on many different fronts, from violence to education and all other social ills that lie between. But there's one common thread that ties each of those things together, and that is generational poverty. So if we're really serious about changing the outcomes for the people in our city, then we need to adopt the phrase "made in Baltimore" and start applying it to the people that we hire and appoint at all levels of city government. Again, I would like to thank you, Mayor Scott, and the members of your administration. I also like to thank my colleagues, President Mosby, and also Sam Johnson, who helped craft this bill for me. Thank you.
Mr. President.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor. Thank you, Chairman Stokes. As we stand here today, this is about the future of the city of Baltimore. This is about providing real opportunities and access to our young folks as they grow up in the city. See, a succession plan is not just as it relates to the city's operations, but it's about properly preparing our young folks to take on those responsibilities in the future. When we look at the city of Baltimore and the deindustrialization of it, when we look at our city and the loss of vocational opportunities in high school, we understand and know the picture that is painted today. And that's young folks who are graduating from our schools without necessarily knowing the next steps of real opportunities. This is a way that they can give back to their communities while developing pathways for the future for their families. So I would like to thank again Chairman Stokes for his amazing leadership in developing this legislation and the full support of our Mayor Brandon Scott as we look for the signing today. So thank you.
And for the record, I did not wear a tie today because we were signing Councilman Stokes' bill, so I had to go full on Councilman Robert Stokes. No, look, I thought about it. I said, oh, I'm not wearing a tie. Not today. We'll officially sign it. Today is the 15th, right?
Yeah, 16.
16?
16.
Wow. I lost it. There you go, sir.
Thank
Congratulations.
you, sir.
Thank you, Mr. Mayor.
Thank you.
Thank you, Mr. President.
Yes, sir.
This is for you, sir.
Oh,
Gotta get that frame, man.
yeah, absolutely.